ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। I welcome all the devotees for today's evening Bhagavad-Gita reading. So I pray from all of you, please give your blessings so that I can do some service. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 12, devotional service, text 2 to 4. 2, 3 and 4 we will be reading today. So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshya mano ye mam Nitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya parayopetas Te me yukta tamamata. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshya mano ye mam Nitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya parayopetas Te me yukta tamamata. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshya mano ye mam Nitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya parayopetas Te me yukta tamamata. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshya mano ye mam Nitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya parayopetas Te me yukta tamamata. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshya mano ye mam Nitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya parayopetas Te me yukta tamamata. Mataji. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshya mano ye mam Nitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya parayopetas Te me yukta tamamata. So word-to-word meanings. So I'll just read the second verse, the third verse, fourth verse we'll just recite and complete translations purport. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Mayi, upon me, Aveshya, fixing, Mana, the mind, A, those who, Mam, me, Nitya, always, Yukta, Yuktaha, engaged, Upasate, worship, Shraddhaya, with faith, Paraya, transcendental, Upeta, endowed, Te, they, me, by me, Yuktatama, most perfect in yoga, Mata, are considered. So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. Purport. In answer to Arjuna's question, Krishna clearly says that he who concentrates upon his personal form and who worships him with faith and devotion is to be considered most perfect in yoga. For one in such Krishna consciousness, there are no material activities because everything is done for Krishna. A pure devotee is constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears or reads books about Krishna, or sometimes he cooks prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, or sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. So we'll just recite third verse and fourth verse also. Etvaksharamanirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyam cha kutastamachalam dhruvam sannimamendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite rathah. Word meanings. A. Those who. 2. But. Aksharam. That which is beyond the perception of the senses. Anirdeshyam. Indefinite. Avyaktam. Unmanifested. Paryupasate. Completely engaged in worshipping. Sarvatragam. All pervading. Achintyam. Inconceivable. Cha. Also. Kutastam. Unchanging. Achalam. Immovable. Dhruvam. Fixed. Sanniyamya. Controlling. Indriya gramam. All the senses. Sarvatra. Everywhere. Samabuddhayah. Equally disposed. Te. They. Prapnuvanti. Achieve. Mam. Me. Eva. Certainly. Sarva bhuta hite. For the welfare of all living entities. Ratha. Engaged. Translation. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons, engaged in the welfare of all, at last achieve me. Purport. Those who do not directly worship the Supreme Godhead Krishna, but who attempt to achieve the same goal by an indirect process, also ultimately achieve the same goal, Sri Krishna. After many births, the man of wisdom seeks refuge in me, knowing that Vasudeva is all. When a person comes to full knowledge after many births, he surrenders unto Lord Krishna. If one approaches the Godhead by the method mentioned in this verse, he has to control the senses, render service to everyone, and engage in the welfare of all beings. It is inferred that one has to approach Lord Krishna, otherwise there is no perfect realization. Often there is much penance involved before one fully surrenders unto him. In order to perceive the super soul within the individual soul, one has to cease the sensual activities of seeing, hearing, tasting, working, etc. Then one comes to understand that the Supreme Soul is present everywhere. Realizing this, one envies no living entity. He sees no difference between man and animal because he sees soul only, not the outer covering. But for the common man, this method of impersonal realization is very difficult. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadanti Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadhanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Dharine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Ramo Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are reading this chapter 12, devotional service. So this is one of the very special chapters in the Bhagavad-Gita, very which stresses the importance of devotional service directly. The chapter itself is called bhakti-yoga. So here Arjuna is asking a question in the previous verse. Which are considered to be most perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? So Krishna says, actually there are three forms of Krishna. One is personal future, personal form, another is impersonal form, and the third one is the universal form, which is last chapter. Okay, so Arjuna already refused to see him in that form. Okay, in the end he says, Krishna, I am very happy to see you in your two-handed form. So he already refused to worship that. Now in this chapter he is asking, in which form should I worship, impersonal form or personal form? Okay, so then Krishna started answering this question. So in somewhere in the 17th chapter, Prabhupada says there are four kinds of worshippers. Okay, so those who worship in the mode of goodness, those who worship in the mode of passion, those who worship mode of ignorance, and those who worship in the mode of pure goodness. So Krishna tells, Prabhupada explains that there are four kinds of worshippers. The shloka is Yajante Satvika Devan Yaksharakshasmi Rajasa Pretan Bhuta Gnaschanye Yajante Tamasajanaha. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods, those in the mode of passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance worship the ghosts and spirits. So Prabhupada tells here how different people worship, who are in the ignorance, they worship ghosts and spirits. So Prabhupada kind of a demoniac people. Then those in the passion, they worship demons. So Prabhupada gives a very nice example here. He tells that during the World War time, so one person in the Kolkata, he was worshipping Hitler because of the World War. So there was a lot of scarcity of food which is being created. So he was a businessman. So he could manage to do very well business. So he started worshipping Hitler. So Prabhupada tells that demon. So then those who are in the mode of goodness, they worship the demigods. Then here in this question, actually Arjuna is asking, should I worship your personal form or impersonal form? So what is actually impersonalist? So the impersonalists are supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness, and they worship 5 kinds of demigods. So Prabhupada says, so they mostly impersonalists may be situated in the mode of goodness. So, but if you see, Lord Shiva is explaining to Mother Parvati in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So where if we see, most of the impersonalists, they worship Lord Shiva. Okay, so he is telling that what is the best worship. He says he is trying to explain to Mother Parvati that whom he is worshipping. Okay, when Daksha Maharaj wants to conduct a big sacrifice, okay, so that time he invites everybody except Lord Shiva. Okay, so then Mother Parvati goes and requests to him that my father is doing a great sacrifice called Vajapaya Yajna, so I would like to go. Okay, please give me permission. So wantedly, out of envy to his son-in-law, so Daksha has not invited Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva explains that if somebody is not inviting, if you go there, you will face difficulties, you will not feel comfortable. He tries to explain to her. That time he says that I always worship the Lord, Sattvam Vishuddhvam Vasudhaiva Satvitam. So he says that I am worshipping the in the pure goodness Lord Vasudeva. Okay, so he gives very nice like example, saying that how one who is worshipping the Lord in the pure goodness Lord Vasudeva, he is free from all other contamination. Okay, and how he looks different from others. So he gives a very nice explanation. Okay, so we have to worship Lord Vasudeva. So there is no doubt. So that is like worship in the mode of pure goodness. But what is this difference between, like as in our day-to-day life activities, how do we differentiate between goodness and pure goodness, Sattva Guna and Shuddha Sattva Guna? So there is one nice example, like in the early days, once Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture to his disciples. So there was a Burijan Prabhu also, so one of the Prabhupada disciples. So Prabhupada explained how devotees should be in the mode of goodness. He stressed in the whole lecture that how devotees should be in the mode of goodness and their activities should be. So, but in the end of the lecture, Prabhuji asks, is it Srila Prabhupada, devotees should be in the mode of goodness, or are they transcendental to the mode of goodness? Okay, or beyond mode of goodness? Prabhupada said, yes, the devotees are transcendental to the mode of goodness, but they act in goodness. Whenever we do any actions, all our activities, like speaking to somebody, okay, like while preaching, cooking, in all our day-to-day regular activities, we always do in the mode of goodness. Okay, so which is very important. Now here Prabhupada says very nicely, many activities. For one in Krishna consciousness, there are no material activities because everything is done for Krishna. A pure devotee constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears or reads books about Krishna, sometimes he cooks prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, or sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devotion. So I remember like in IIT Kanpur, there is a one preaching program which goes. Okay, like there is a one small club called Bhakti-Yoga Club. There some devotees, they preach. So like the students, mostly they study. Okay, and like in our temples there are like Sunday feast. So in the same way, there they conduct a Saturday evening program, like they invite the students, they do. So I see some devotees, they are engaged almost from afternoon 12 o'clock, okay, till night 12 o'clock. They're completely engaged. Like there will be some devotees who go to market, okay, they purchase the things and they come, okay, and then they take bath, then they start cutting vegetables, cooking, okay, then they clean the temple room, and there will be some devotees who go to different hostels, okay, and they make nice small slips, like inviting the different new students, okay, they go to each and every room, okay, so we have a program, you please come, okay, they give personal invitation. So at least they give 100 invitations, okay, at least 10 people come, okay. So there is some one group which is engaged in that one, and there is another group, like they have, when they come, devotees come, they clean the place, they put mats, they make arrangements, and they put the book table, and in the evening around 7 o'clock, okay, we have nice Jagannath Baldev Subhadra deities, and they start Gaurarati, and then around 7:45 there is a class, okay, then 8:45 like around questions, like 7 to 9 the program, okay, and 9 o'clock they serve prasadam for the devotees, okay, like to the whoever newcomers have come, and they try to preach them, they try to explain them about whatever they are doing, okay, and then by the time they feed prasadam to them, it is 10 o'clock, then they take prasadam, it will be 10:30, then 10:30 to 12 o'clock I see they start cleaning the utensils and making that place clean for tomorrow, like next day morning program. You see, even though they are studying, like all these activities, they are almost fully engaged. Like afternoon 12 o'clock, we don't know. Most of the other majority of the students this time, they are like just most of the time I think Saturday they will be enjoying watching movies or going for outside. So, and most of them, we can say here, such action is in full samadhi. So Prabhupada is saying, so we can see all these activities, they are fully engaged with full dedication, okay, for spreading this Krishna consciousness. So in one lecture, Srila Prabhupada says that if we are not practicing Krishna consciousness and distributing it to our relatives and to society, to the nation, to everybody, then we become envious. This is a very powerful statement Prabhupada says. I have read. So if we are not, what we may be practicing, but if we are not sharing with others, still we become envious of them. Then we cannot progress. If we become envious, we cannot progress. So in this verse, Srila Prabhupada is saying all our activities should be centered around, everything should be centered around Krishna. Okay. So now in this verse, one more very important thing is said is that how do we worship? With great and transcendental faith. Okay. Because faith is a very, very important thing in our lives. Because everything, if we don't have a faith, it's very difficult to survive, in this world. So many times I feel most of the time, like we are educated, like I'm educated like that, whatever is given in the books, whatever the teachers are telling, that is correct. So over almost for 20 years I have been trained like this. Okay. So yesterday one devotee was asking that why do we do parikrama? Okay. So we are just walking. So like many other people also walking. Some people every day morning they walk or they do running. Like why do we do parikrama? Okay. Because the importance of parikrama is not explained anywhere in our regular books. So over the 15-20 years I have studied so many things, and now in the Bhagavad Gita, if I read that circumambulating the temple or doing parikrama is also one of the spiritual activity, which I may get confused. I may start questioning about its importance or relevance. Okay, how it is important. So like this, everything is connected. We need to have faith. Okay, so and here Krishna tells that it has two characteristics. One is great. It should be great and transcendental. Okay, most of the times, many of our faiths are like my faith is either it is situational or sometimes it is opportunist. Okay, like if some opportunity is there, okay, I may believe, oh, now I believe in this one. If I find there is no opportunity, okay, then I say no, this is not correct. Okay, if there is no opportunity to me, if there is no gain for me, then I will try to reject that idea. And if we see many times these days, I was hearing one devotee was sharing that I think more than 50% of the population, okay, in Jharkhand is tribals. Okay, so in that more than 50%, like around 50% of them are already being converted to Christians. Okay, so there are so many missionaries which they go try to spread this faith. So Prabhupada says that like we may be Christian, we may be Muslim, or we may be Hindu. So the difference whether we are perfect or not, so the test is whether your religion or your scriptures are teaching you to develop how to love God. If you have developed that characteristic, how to love God, then we can say that we are situated in our like pure consciousness. Okay, or else they are all mostly situational. Today you may be into one faith, tomorrow you will change. So our faith should be transcendental, which should not like our activities, our our surroundings, they should not affect our faith in Krishna consciousness. Okay, it should be transcendental to all these things. So how that is possible? Okay, so actually there are one devotee has said there are 6 stages or levels where we can develop faith. There are 6 stages to the faith. So the first stage is called dream. Okay, so I'll just tell the 6 stages. The first stage is called dream. Then we should have a desire to achieve the dream. Then there will be some difficulties. Okay, and then there will be some delay. Okay, and then the 5th stage is called, sometimes we don't see, like it's called dead end, like we don't see any chance to overcome, like to achieve our dream. Then the final is that called deliverance, where we achieve the dream. Okay, so there are 6 stages. So I will just briefly explain, discuss this. So first is dream. So we should have a dream. Like if you see, most of the times the faith, which is called faith, can be retained as unflinching trust in something which is sublime. Okay, so unflinching trust which is something sublime. So we hear many times that so many things in the scriptures which are very difficult to believe, very difficult to accept. Okay, like we are all coming from Krishna, and there are so many innumerable universes, and everything is from each universe. From there is a Mahavishnu is there, and planets are coming, sprouting. Okay, but if I see my like other subjects which we are studying in the school these days, they're also like that. Like there is an atom. In the atom, okay, there are orbits. In that orbits, there are, some element, some electrons, some protons. Okay, this is also, I need to have a faith. If I don't have a faith, because I have not tested, I have not, done. So these are all like empirical knowledge. Okay, just through experiments, they have concluded these things. So now, so in this, we need to have the faith. So now with faith, the first stage is called dream. Okay, how we can, how do we know that this is my dream? Okay, because dream means we need, because every day we will be visualizing or we will be thinking of something, okay, which we want to become. Okay, every day. So, but which is correct? Because we all know that that every living entity has a relationship with Krishna. Okay, so to realize that relationship is the perfection of our human life. Okay. So now, how do we know that? Okay, so if we don't know that what is the dream, we have to constantly hear from pure devotees, and we have to constantly pray to Krishna. Krishna, please reveal me. Okay, what is I am meant for? Okay, what I have to do to please you and please your representatives. So we have to constantly pray. When we constantly pray, so one day Krishna will answer. So once we pray, once we get a desire, okay, like if you see Srila Prabhupada, almost from he started Back to Godhead magazine, let us say 1944. Okay, he's constantly trying to preach this Krishna consciousness. Okay, he wants to do try to preach this desire, fulfill the desire of his spiritual master. So this is there is a famous story also where Prabhupada was sitting on a bench in a park in I think United States. So and Prabhupada is in almost in kind of a trance, thinking something. So one person comes and asks, okay, what are you thinking? So he tells that I am having already so many, so many temples are there and so many books are printing and so many people are becoming devotees. Only time is separating from me. So in the same way, all of us are having some something which Krishna has already planned. So, but we have to search for it. We have to, find out. Okay, that one. Once we find that, then desire, the second stage. Okay, so then we know one's dream. Then, to acquire that dream, to make it materialize or implement it, we have to give complete ourselves. We have to give our time, we have to give our energy, and we have to give our possessions if we have anything, and we have in terms of name, fame, land, whatever it is we have to spend for that desire. Okay, so but many times it is very difficult to have strong faith in the process we are doing sometimes, because Maya always continuously tests us. So this example of once Srila Prabhupada was going, and the disciples heard that there is a one great mystic who was walking on the water. So Prabhupada said that the disciples came and told Prabhupada that there is a person we found, he is walking on water. So he almost spent 20 years, more than 20 years, almost his lifetime, in meditating, like trying to acquire that mystic power. Okay, for what purpose? To walk on the water. So Prabhupada said that if you pay 10 paise, so the boatman will cross you across the river. So you don't need to spend the whole life, in doing this gymnastic or this mystic process. So this kind of immediate temptations, okay, will try to test us, okay, whether we are having a faith in the dream which Krishna has given, okay. And so we have to overcome these obstacles, and we have to fix ourselves in spending our whole energy and giving ourselves completely, okay. Then because when we see there will be a delay, because when we have a dream, so and achieving that dream, if there is a time, okay, then this all problems will come, okay. Where if there is a delay, then we see, whether am I going to achieve that, okay. Because these days everything we want to be things to be done quickly, because we have lack of patience, okay, lack of tolerance, okay, all these things. So it is very difficult to stick to the desire given by the Krishna or Acharyas, and do that at a consistently, because in all our things consistency is very important, okay. Because because our mind always tests us, it try to flickers, oh no, you are not meant for this, okay, you do this, okay. So controlling the mind, okay, and patiently doing all the things in a consistent way, chanting or doing morning program or whatever scheduled services we are having, okay, without losing hope. So that is delay. So then in this process we face so many difficulties, okay. We can see Srila Prabhupada, he has faced so many difficulties, okay. While printing Back to God magazine, sometimes while distributing, he got a sunstroke and he fell down, okay. So and while going I was reading Lila, so much effort Srila Prabhupada puts to go to America. Like how many times he goes to Mumbai to beg to Mrs. Sumati Murarji, and in that process so many times he interacts and he tries to preach them and convince them why he wants to go to US, all these things, difficulties. So this is the once this all we have to see, which every great difficulty we have to see as a stepping stone to success, okay. The difficulties are sometimes the dead end means we don't see any hope that it can be achieved, okay. When Prabhupada was there sometimes in Boveri, I think in the US, there his tape recorder and typewriter were stolen, okay. So in the same way in our day-to-day activities also very difficult, we don't feel any hope that I may achieve this. So we have to wait for it. So Mahatma Gandhi has said very nice very nice statement. Providence has its appointment, however, for everything. We cannot command results, we can only strive, okay. He said we have to wait to achieve something, okay. We can't command. So then when we consistently do it, then Krishna will bestow someday and he will give us the result, which is the love of Godhead, okay. So these 6 stages. So and in this process I feel the first very important is that the transcendental, our faith should not be affected by our surroundings. It should be transcendental to all our actions, activities, surroundings and people whom we meet, okay. That is only possible by constant association with devotees. Okay. So next, and here it is said, what is the difficulty? Okay. Here Prabhupada is saying, after many births, the man of wisdom seeks refuge in me, knowing that Vasudeva is all. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. So, which is very difficult. Okay. So now Prabhupada explains that in order to perceive the super soul within the individual soul, one has to cease the sensual activities. If we see, I think wherever Prabhupada says soul, I don't see the soul is different from super soul. The soul never stays, without presence of super soul. Like even if I am living this body, okay, so the super soul carries my soul. Okay, I go to different body. Okay, so the super soul is always there. But even since many births, like unlimited births I have taken, okay, I have never seen it. It's always staying with me, but I am not realizing it. Okay, so once I realize that Krishna is only with me, okay, so then only I will try to treat every person without envy, without hatred. Okay, or else in this world nowadays so much hatred, so much destruction is going on. Each person is hating each other, country is hating countries, cities are hating other cities, so much unhealthy competition. Okay, so only if I realize that Krishna is in me also, in all other living entities, then only it is possible for me to treat everyone without envy, without hatred. Okay, so you can go on discussing. I would like to stop here, and any comments, questions? Yes, Hare Krishna.
You are mentioning Lord Shiva, Parvati, Daksha, Daksha's daughter was Parvati, Sati, Shiva Sati.
Yes.
Then after giving a body,
She became Parvati. Yes. Yes.
one was just like Prabhupada giving example. In that dream, you see the tiger is catching you. But when you wake up on the dream, there is no tiger.
Yeah, Krishna Prabhupada says this example in the Krishna book.
Yeah. So imaginations are so many imagination we have. So if we only imagine about Krishna, we need Krishna book as like Prabhupada said. Read Krishna book every night. If we read Krishna book, then we can get the thoughts of Krishna. But if we don't read Krishna books and we are here and there thinking about something else, and so many little things, those many things will come in our dream and they will give us disturbance. So to avoid those disturbance, we should always try to read Prabhupada said, night time you take milk and you read at least half an hour, 1 hour, you should read Krishna.
Yeah, we should not speculate. The dream refers here that we have to both as a Chaitya Guru, the super soul guides us, and then there is a spiritual master. He may be instructing spiritual master or initiating spiritual master. We have to get confirmed whether our dream is correct or not. So we can't whimsically take, okay, this is my dream, I want to achieve. So under their able guidance, okay, so we can decide, yes, this is my dream, I have to achieve this. Okay.
Suppose I take the darshan of Lord Shyam Sundar every day. In that dream I see Lord Shyam Sundar. So that is what we are seeing every day that comes in that dream. So how can we say that is speculation or it is our mind or something?
No, the dream means what we are meant for, I mean to say. What we are meant for. because we all have, Krishna has made each living entity for certain reason. Okay, so what Krishna wants me to do in his service? Okay, that service I should find. Okay, first I want to decide that I want to serve Krishna. Okay, here in this translation Prabhupada says that, it is inferred that one has to approach Lord Krishna, otherwise there is no perfect realization. Okay, so how in what way I will approach Krishna? Okay, yeah.
When we are serving him, so he always in our mind.
What is my service?
Any kind of service.
So that has to be decided by, any type of service I should not speculate. That has to, the spiritual master has to tell.
Spiritual master also gives to the management of the service, so we should know all this to the management.
Pardon? Huh?
Spiritual master gives us that to the president and inside the president, whatever is guiding you, so according to the president, whatever service he gives to that service, that has to be under spiritual master is actually a question.
Yes. So, but this is in general principle, but it varies from person to person. Okay, like my service is different, like Prabhuji's service may be different. So what is that? I have to look for it. I have to pray to Krishna. I have to approach my spiritual master. I have to speak to him. Okay, so the principle is that service will be given by spiritual master. But again, I have to approach to a person whom I have to approach. Okay, so that I have to pray to Krishna, and Krishna will guide me. You go and approach this person. You surrender to him. Okay, you serve him. You follow his guidelines. Okay, that varies to me different and others like different. So it is again a personal approach. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Mataji.
You said that other religions are there. They teach how to love God. It's okay. But that is not happening nowadays. Other religions are trying to dominate us. They are trying to finish us. Their agenda is they work with the nationalism. It is happening in the last 2,000 years. You can see we call them invaders. They invaded our country with the purpose of corruption, right? Because they want to prove the supremacy of their religion on us. So shall we just live in our shell to imagining that everything is going fine and they're teaching how to love God and we should remain inactive?
Yeah, we can see just the example of Prabhupada only. Yeah, okay. The question is, Mataji is asking that other religions over the last 2000 years, we can see they are trying to spread and trying to spread the influence of Sanatana Dharma. Okay, so what should be our role? What should be our mode? Yes, Mataji? Okay, so we can see just from the example of Prabhupada. So Prabhupada went to spread Sanatana Dharma. Okay, and he has converted many churches to temples. Okay, because when there are many talks with the even church fathers and some Christian professors. Okay, so they're asking our people are not following our religion. Okay, so but how you are engaging them in the service of God? So he said that I am explaining what they are supposed to do. Okay, and I am convincing them. So in the same way, we also that's what I was hearing a lecture. Prabhupada said that if you don't practice Krishna consciousness, and if you don't preach to your relatives, okay, your friends and your country, nation, okay, then you will become envious of everything. Okay, so they are not doing that. Okay, so because of that they are getting envious of us. Okay, they are not properly preaching, they are not doing. So if we also don't do that, then we will also become envious of them. Okay, so the only solution is we sincerely practice and we sincerely preach as much as possible. Okay, that is the only solution which, as per my understanding.
According to some predictions, like Islam is going to be, the population will be 50% in India.
I do not know much predictions. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. సో శ్రీల ప్రభుపాద్కి, శ్రీమద్ భగవద్గీతకి, సమవేత గౌరవ భక్త వృందకి నితాయ గౌర ప్రేమ. మరి